Now you've even been fortunate enough to work with Pharrell, right?
Yeah, I did.
On this album.
I don't know if it's gonna end up being for this album, but because there's a lot of other things, like I don't know where the actual song's gonna end up. And I did some stuff for some of his songs as well. So that stuff is kind of like paused. But working with him was insane because I'm a huge fan. I've been a fan like since the NERD stuff.
Yeah.
So walking into that session was like, what?
Now,
is life?
did you maybe let's say you're 22 now, right?
Yeah, I am.
Would you imagine yourself at this place? What was it, like 10 years ago? 11 years old, performing at talent shows and whatnot?
I can't say that I would have imagined this. No.
At all?
No, because I mean, as a kid, like I always dreamed about doing this stuff. And even stuff like I wouldn't even know what
to call it.
Yeah, as a kid, it's just like I want to be a singer. Like when you're a kid, you just have this like it feels like unreachable. And so I always dreamed about it, like calling it my career and my job. But the fact that new things keep popping up, and it's like, oh, this is what it is. It's like it just keeps it exciting and fresh. And I feel really blessed to be able to do this.
Now, what advice would you give, another 11-year-old, let's see, Tori Kelly in their bedroom right now, maybe going all the way through class thinking about how they're going to record this next YouTube video? What kind of advice would you give them?
Biggest advice that I could give you is to remain true to yourself. And you might not know who you are right now, because I sure didn't know who I was or how to even describe myself at that age. But you'll know what I'm saying when you reach that point when people are trying to tell you how to be. I'm like looking right at you.
Just telling you.
It might sound cliche, it's like the whole be yourself thing, but it really, really helps when you're confident in your own skin and you know what you are and who you are.
Now, is that what helped you make that decision when you decided to, trust Scooter Braun?
Yeah, that was definitely one of those situations where I had to be a little more trusting, because before he came along, I was very much like, it was more like indie stuff. So it was like me kind of just, it was just me, really.
Putting whatever you wanted out.
Like, I was my
cool
own.
with this.
Yeah, exactly. So when he came along, I was like, wait a second. Like, I don't know if I'm ready for this. And
You're
then
moving too fast.
I know. Yeah. And I think it was just a little bit intimidating, but at the same time, I knew in my heart that it was time to take that next step and really expand and grow, and not necessarily change who I am or anything. But that was the biggest thing with him, was like very first meeting, he's like, I love everything you're doing. I don't even want to change what you're doing. I just want to take who you are and just make it grow and make it bigger. So that was like the selling point for me.
What kind of sound can we expect from your album? Because you have everything. You're vocally very, wide ranged, where you can, be very soulful, do the Lauryn Hill.
Thanks.
Or you can be a little bit more poppy, hit those, Mariah Carey high notes. What can we expect from the album?
I think it's got a little bit of both of the things you just said, but also I don't want to stray from the acoustic element. So there's definitely those moments on the album where it's just me and the guitar.
Yeah, definitely keep that. That's one of my favorite.
Thank you. Yeah, that was important for me, because that's a huge part of the stuff that I like. So there's a little bit of that. There's I think the whole album is woven together with soul. So even if it's like a more pop type of sound, it's still I try to bring as much soul as I can. And that's kind of the common thread, I think, throughout the album.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Don't
be shy. This is where you have to speak it into existence. So right now, this is where we talk about.
A lot can happen in 10 years. That's the thing. I would hope that I'd have a few albums under my belt in 10 years, and that I could just tour whenever I wanted, because I love touring.
Well, first things first, we gotta settle on a name for this album.
Yeah,
but for now,
first album is
we'll settle for Nobody Love.
Yay!
There we go. Shout out to Tori Kelly.
Thank you.